The Legend of Korra is no stranger to controversial writing choices. The follow-up comics are sadly no exception to that. While I'm sure Turf Wars has its issues, I wanted to focus on Ruins of the Empire. Ruins of the Empire addresses the fallout of two plot points, Kuvira's surrender and Earth King Wu's abolition of the Earth monarchy in favor of the Earth Federation, similar to the United Republic of Nations. And it makes sense to link these two conflicts together. Gaoling, Top's home province, is going to be the site of the first free and fair elections in the Earth Kingdom in its transition to democracy. However, the thing about democracy is, it really only works when the people are willing to sustain democracy as a system. Some people aren't willing to just transition to democracy, especially when you actively benefited from an authoritarian militaristic empire in light of your whole "my entire nation went to hell in fire and blood." And to the comic's credit, it does raise a few good points. During a democratization process, it's pretty easy for the old regime's bureaucracy to simply transition into the elected role without much issue. Meanwhile, the people who clearly want to subvert the democratic process will use said democratic process in order to destroy it. It's not like Commander Guan here is a war criminal or anything. He's the guy given the rowdiest, least disciplined troops in the Empire to whip into shape, something that can and will look very attractive to the general public as a selling point. Really, Wu puts it best when he says he can't just cancel an election because he hates the candidate. That's just terrible precedent. So you have Commander Guan, Toph, and two members of the old bureaucracy facing off against each other in order to become governor of Gaoling. Two want to keep the old system, one wants to bring back the Earth Empire, and one's a cranky old lady who hates everyone. You have the workings of a reasonably good plot right here. The problem is that we jump to literal brainwashing as our main conflict. This has to be the big problem with The Legend of Korra as a whole. It has very ambitious questions and sets up very interesting conflicts only to completely scrap it in favor of safe, simple, and sad. The rest of the comic is dedicated to Commander Guan brainwashing people into becoming his supporter. So that interesting conflict about how democracy is flawed and only works when people are willing to accept and sustain it is replaced by Manchurian candidate-style brainwashing in order to reasons. This is pathetic. What's funny is that there are plenty of authoritarian regimes that transition to democracies, some with a ton of bloodshed, some far more peaceful. Would have been nice to actually see the problems with an actual election that could reasonably arise. Stuffing the ballot box, voter suppression, bribing officials to count the votes, voter intimidation, flooding the media with misinformation, attempted assassinations of candidates. You can keep a lot of a story and still have plenty of action. You can have Guan win the election through voter fraud, intimidation, whatever. You can still have him be defeated and reveal his deception. You can still have Wu delay the full transition to democracy because clearly democratizing the former Earth Kingdom will take some time and energy. It's just so annoying to see good ideas being ignored and discarded in favor of the less interesting route, and it is a constant problem with this series. Remember Unalaq in the Water Tribe Civil War? Yeah, me neither. But those are just my thoughts. Please consider liking, subscribing, tipping the channel on Ko-fi. This is Cyril signing off.